occurred in the first place.
I'm just going to jump in here because there is a shot of a man there in the window, and he appears to have, we've lost the shot, but that's an image that we've just been able to pick out and hone in for you. And it had a man with what looked like a black gilet and a black bandana with white Arabic writing on it, loitering. There it is. There, you can see it there. So it does appear that's one man we have. Black bandana, white Arabic writing across the front of it, white T-shirt with a black body warmer or some form of gilet that is wearing. So, Joanna, that does seem to confirm just one person so far seen. Not an exact confirmation as to how many gunmen possibly in there. But first image of who could be inside there. But that looks to be in front of the 7 News shot.
Now, we do know that 7 News is right opposite the building, so we're not sure if this has been filmed through the windows. And it's quite interesting that this image has appeared, because obviously if there is a gunman inside, they will be controlling the situation quite carefully. And what has happened so far is the person inside, or people inside, have been using the hostages to obviously bring this to the world's attention. And
OK, Joanna, just going to speak to a Channel 9 reporter. Lizzie Pearl is on the scene. Lizzie, thanks for joining us. I know how busy you are. Just describe to us what's happening there.
Yeah, no problems. I'm just standing probably around 100 metres from the entrance of that Lindt Cafe. I can see the doors. Can't see in the windows. I'm just down the side. But there are a lot of police officers, heavily armed police officers, sort of standing outside. The streets surrounding have been closed off. This is right in the centre of Sydney's CBD. It's usually crawling with people. The law courts, where I'm standing out the front of the Supreme Court, has been evacuated and shut down. The roads are closed. Martin Place, where this is unfolding right now, has been closed. Also, a number of shops have decided that it's just too risky. They're closing their doors and packing up for the day. It really is a very tense feeling in the city at the moment. Just a lot of unknowns. That cafe, the Lindt Cafe, is very popular. I go in there quite regularly. I just work a couple of 100 metres away from that cafe. It's usually filled at that time of the morning. It would have been filled with workers and people going for the day. It's also a place where a lot of people go and get Christmas presents, especially at this time of year. It's filled with chocolates and gifts and that kind of thing. So at the moment, it still is a very tense situation. I just came from the Opera House before I got here this morning, and that has also been evacuated. A lot of workers on site, they're actually doing a bit of renovations down there. They've all been evacuated. Tourists have been evacuated, and the police helicopter has been doing some very low works and hovering over the Opera House just to check it out over at Garden Island, which is, of course, our naval base here in Sydney Harbour, not far from the Opera House. It's been checking that site out as well. So still a very tense situation here right in the centre of Sydney. A lot of police, heavily armed police, keeping a very close eye on the door of that Lindt Cafe at the moment.
Lizzie, do we know exactly why the Opera House was evacuated? There seems to be some confusion as to the exact reason. Is it just a precaution?
There is. Yeah, I mean, I was down there. There wasn't a lot of police on the ground when I was down there, so that made me think that perhaps it was just a precaution. The security guards were doing the evacuation as opposed to police. At the moment, that's what we're hearing. It was just a precaution because it is obviously one of Sydney's and Australia's better known landmarks, that it was just a precaution. But look, that may not be the case. That was what I was told by one of the security guards who was down there keeping a close eye on things. So we're not hearing anything to the contrary at the moment about the reason for why the Opera House was evacuated.
Lizzie, are you aware of what level of terror threat Australia is at the moment?
A couple of months ago, the terror threat was lifted. It happened around September. I think it went, I couldn't tell you what the exact number was, but it was definitely lifted right across Australia. A lot of the government buildings, I work in the Parliament House here in New South Wales in Sydney, that was the security guards around the Parliament House got a lot the presence became a lot heavier as the Parliament House in Canberra. So around September there was some intelligence or information that our terror threat level should be raised, and that's what happened. So whether this is a result of that intelligence, far too early to say, but yeah, there was definitely a heightened sense of awareness the last couple of months here in Sydney.
What's security?